All right, Jeff Zimmerman here with the WBO welterweight champion of the world, Brian Norman Jr., and maybe soon to be joined by Brian Norman Sr., but we'll see. But how you doing, Brian?
I'm doing good, pimp man. How you doing yourself?
Good, man. Well, listen, we got a lot to talk about, man. You're a rising star in this sport. Um,
hmm
Still relatively unknown to a lot of fans, maybe, but certainly on the
hmm
rise. And a world champion. But before we get started, man, some breaking news today. I got to get your thoughts. It looks like Crawford and Canelo is not happening after everything lined up for it, and now it looks like Canelo's facing Jake Paul in May. What are your thoughts? Or did you even know that?
I didn't know that at all. As far as I know, the last thing I remember was that fight was going to happen with him and Crawford. But I mean, clear as day what Canelo doing. He don't really care about the real deal fights. He just he's trying to get paid. So I guess he seen he had to tell end of his career. He just trying to make the most of it. So like that's official. Like him fighting Jake Paul.
I mean, it's as official as Twitter says it's official, right? I mean,
True that. True that. Yeah.
you know, but it looks like a pretty close to a done deal, according to most
Yeah.
reports from reliable sources.
Well, get your money, man. That's all I can say. Get your money. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah. Let's I think I know what your take is if Canelo fights Jake, but what were your thoughts on Canelo Crawford?
Actually, I love that fight. With that fight, I went back and I was sitting and marinating on it. At first, I couldn't pick a side for real because they both are good fighters, and we all know good fighter, check, check. But you got a good smaller fighter and a good bigger fighter. The good bigger fighter got the advantage. But then I started thinking about it. Roberto Duran jumped 2 weight classes and beat the man, Sugar Ray Leonard. Shane Mosley jumped 2 weight classes and beat the man, Oscar De La Hoya. So why Crawford can't do it? So with that being said, I'm going for Crawford in that fight.
Wow. And not to say it's not ever going to happen, but the ring, who obviously Turkey Al Sheikh
Mhm.
owns the ring, that's where the news broke on that fight not happening, at least as we
Yeah.
sit here today.
And then also, the whole heavyweight division as a whole, you can be, I think it's 200 plus is heavyweight, I believe, or 201 plus, and you can fight somebody as big as ever, and the smaller guy can still win. For example, Usyk, I think weighed in around 220 something, and then Tyson Fury weighed in 270. That's a 50-pound difference, and you've seen what happened still on both fights. So, weight does matter, but at the same time, skills matters the most.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, it looks like your dad just joined, and you obviously are a historian of the game, Junior. And how you doing, Brian Norman Sr.?
Hey,
Jeff Zimmerman here. Good to see you.
good to see you too.
Yeah, so I was just asking your son about the breaking news before we get into what's going on with you guys. But Crawford and Canelo is off, and it looks like Canelo's fighting Jake Paul in May.
I saw that.
Any thoughts?
Now I don't have any thoughts on. I mean, it's all a money grab. I don't see why he can't fight Crawford or whatever else, but I definitely can see him fighting Jake Paul. Like I said, it's all a money grab. That's it.
Yeah.
Wait, also, I thought they said him and Crawford was in September, so that means that fight could still be made. Like, of course, Canelo still will fight somebody in May, which is now, as we're seeing, Jake Paul. But that don't mean the other one is off the table because they were talking about September already anyway.
Yeah, that could happen. That could happen. You know, they didn't get into specifics. They just said it was
hmm
off. But yeah, crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff happening right
Yeah.
now. But let me ask you guys, so kind of a flip of the script. I'm talking to you guys because Junior, you're training your dad to get back in the ring February 15th in Atlanta on
Next
BLK
weekend.
Prime. Um, how did that all come about?
I mean, who gave me all the knowledge and all the strength and all the power regarding boxing? Who gave me my whole mindset regarding everything in life? My pops. So now he needed a trainer. Just reiterate the same thing he taught me and just put it right back into him. And We got the same attitude, same mindset, same everything. So there's no struggle at all.
Has he been a good student? Is he listening to you?
He has been a good student. Yeah.
And Brian Sr., you were a former boxer, I believe, when you were younger, but you're fighting a guy by the name of Greg Hackett. I think he's like 3-23. What made this fight happen? You guys had a little disagreement or something?
What in a nutshell, what happened? We was on Mill City Live, and man, it was so much. But you know about it. Remember the boost negotiation and my son negotiation back. And then Daryl Peoples, of course, came out, said the fight could have never been made, blah, blah, blah. It was all a bunch of horse shit to me. So, but either way it go, when the negotiation was going on, we were handling it we thought it was real. So I was just trying to explain to him, listen, it's not about what you get right now. It's about the long game. We had our different reasons for what we did and why we did. And we knew and know the fight is worth more money. And people don't even realize the Stanionis fight that just was made proved exactly what we said. It's not in Philadelphia. The Stanionis fight is in AC. And I guarantee you it's worth more than what they were offering us. That proved my whole point. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
As far as with the Greg Hackett situation, we was on the Mill City Live and we was talking about that. He was like, well, if you thought your son could beat Booz, why didn't you take the chance? So I was like, look, it's bigger than that. And I was just trying to explain to him. And I was trying to be respectful. And I was like, look, I don't expect you to understand. I didn't want to belittle him, but I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, I'm not gonna tell Bill Gates what he need to take. You know what I mean? Because that's not in my league. You understand what I'm saying? Just like there's levels to boxing, there's levels to life. And I just clearly see from what I know about Greg Hackett, he's still fighting. Like you said, he's 3-23. I mean, come on, let's keep it real. You're not making a lot of money. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So then that's what I was trying to get him to understand. Like I said, I was trying to do this as respectful as possible, but I was like, I don't expect somebody like you to understand that, you know, it came out wrong. And it probably just, like I said, was wrong at the time due to what was going on. And, you know, he got mad about it. And, you know, after they fight, me and you got to get it on. We got to get in the ring. Hey, don't threaten me with a good time. I sent her the address and we was on another show. I mean, I went on another show, Coach Malachi, True Media Sports, and BLK Prime reached out to him and we made this happen from there.
Hey, man, I think everybody should settle their disagreements in the ring.
1,000% agree, and I hope this starts a new trend. I hope it starts a new trend because I'm with it. I hope it starts a new trend so that way people like Mike Tyson said will stop talking trash on the internet because they can really get hit in the mouth. Now, either it's going to be put up or shut up. You know what I mean? Same thing with, I know nobody want to hear about Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley offered me this fight. Tim Bradley offered me a fight. I agree. I haven't seen him since. Haven't heard from him since.
Well, what's it like being trained by your son? You know, kind of flipping roles.
You know what, man? I feel fine. I feel fine at a lot of things. Age is an old saying that Coach Barry taught me. He said that the youth is wasted on the young. Youth is wasted on the young. I agree with that. Youth is wasted on the young because when you get wiser and older, you don't have that youth anymore. So being the fact that I got a chance to come back and do it again, I got a whole different mindset. I got a whole different understanding. I got a whole different type of respect. I'm going to respect my son, my coach, or whoever, because I know he's trying to help me. I know that I can't see. I know just like I try to tell him and show him you're not doing what you think you're doing. You know what I mean? I've had to record people before. I've had to record him before. You're not doing what you think you're doing. I know your mind is telling you you're doing it, but you're not doing what you think you're doing. And so, you know, I trust his knowledge. I trust what I taught him. I trust what he learned on his own. And I trust him enough to you know, listen to what he say.
Hey, Junior, do you have to, like, not go overboard because he's still your trainer, right? So do you have to, like, you know, payback's a bitch?
I mean, ain't no such thing going overboard with us. It been plenty of times where I said, all right, that's enough. He said, no, give me some more. Now I'm just returning the favor. So it goes both ways. It's never too much.
Right.
True story.
Hey, Senior, before you jumped on, I was telling your son that I know AC here in Dallas. I covered Spence's camps for several years with Derrick James and so forth. So great admiration for AC, his fighters first, protect yourself
Right.
at all times. I've been following his whole journey, and I don't think he could be represented by a better guy. But I wanted to ask you though, on the Boots fight, and you kind of answered it. So no regrets at all. 6 months later,
No,
jumping at the chance to get that.
no regrets 7 months later, however long later, but that was all of my points, all of our points have been proven, even with the Eddie situation. Eddie came out right after the negotiation fell through and said that we called him asking was it still available? Like it was a whole crock of crap. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was. It was a whole crock of crap. It wasn't meant in good faith. The whole situation wasn't meant in good faith. Even if you take it back further past that, he wasn't trying to make no fights happen. You got him trying to offer Charles Conwell $300,000 at 154, but then you come back and you get offered $5.5 million with Virgil Ortiz at 154, and you turn that down. None of it made sense. None of it makes any sense whatsoever. Just people not using their brain.
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. And I know your son's a fighter and he just wants to fight, but it is the business of boxing. So I get it. And it would be a hell of a fight. I think it would be a hell of a fight.
Absolutely. No, we want to fight. We do
It's
want
still
to fight.
available.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
still
we gonna
available.
it's still available. We want to fight. There's no reason why the fight shouldn't happen. I know depending on results or whatever else, I'm sure they got a rematch clause in that. So I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. I was just talking to somebody about that earlier today, but it is what it is. So we don't regret it.
Yeah.
My son still has his career. He's still on the right path. I
We
think
didn't
he's
lose
in a good.
anything.
Right. I think he's in a good space. He's in a good place to make his own legacy. And, when the fight happens, it happens. If it happens next, we'll definitely welcome it. If it doesn't happen next, we'll take it when it happens.
Let me ask you guys both something, because Brian is such a dangerous fighter for anybody. I mean, his skills are immense. And going back to last weekend, like Benavidez took on Morrell, which a lot of people questioned him doing it. He was going after Canelo for so long, and it was a super high risk fight for him, potentially low reward, right? If he loses, and 50-50 by a lot of people. So do you worry that Brian could be avoided because he is such a high risk and potentially low risk, or high risk, low reward at this point?
You asking me or you asking my son?
Both of you.
Go ahead, B.
Well, in my opinion, I got a belt, so it's not necessarily low reward.
Exactly.
You want to
Yes, sir.
become a champion. That says it all right then and there. I got a belt by Yale. There go your reward right then and there. So to become a champion, you got to take a high risk. So high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
That's my answer. Exactly. He has the belt. It's only 4 belts that matter. He has one of the belts that matter. If the road to undisputed goes through Brian Norman Jr. at this point, so if you want it, if that's the reward you want, you got to come get it.
Yeah.
And then also, my dog Marvin Hagler, same thing with him. They were trying to, dim down his light. And they rotted him on a few fights in the beginning. So guess what? He said, forget all of that. I got something for you. I just gonna knock everybody's head off, and you got no choice but to come my way. I'm down to do the same thing, in which I am on the path to do right now.
And to your point, belts still matter. Belts still matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely. No matter what, everybody wants to be a champion. Nobody just want to say, if you want to just get paid in boxing, you would have said that off rip. But everybody say I want to be a champion. So for that means belts matter.
Belts put you in the history books. Belts put you in the history books. Belts put you, like, if you take a fighter that, when you take a fight, okay, who held the title at this, and who the held the title? This is who held the title. So it's kind of like it's part of, I always say, anytime you take pictures, anytime you take videos, you become immortal, because that's more footage or material that's out about you. So it adds to your immortality, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It adds to your immortality because that's just more. It's more you left. It's more of a legacy you left. So when they go to look in that title book for who had the title this year, this time, or remember this person fought this person, that he's part of history. That's part of his legacy. That's part of his immortality, in my opinion.
Well, and Junior, to hear you bring up Hagler, I've been working with Richard Still for 20 years. I just saw some clips of Hagler Hearns, and throwback fighter. You seem to have that same mentality, and you probably get it from your dad. It seems like. It doesn't seem like this generation, though. Besides like a David Benavidez, even Canelo, although you can say the fights he's taken now, question it, but from what he's done throughout his career at Crawford. You guys seem to be throwback fighters, to your point where you want to make history. So the Ryan Garcias, the Teofimos, the Devin Haneys, you feel like you'll get your opportunity against those guys at some point?
I feel like it's no choice, but it's bound to happen no matter what. Like everybody want to come up to 147 right now. I'm a champion. I'm about to keep knocking everybody's head off, and I'm gonna keep boxing everybody in. Well, it's like I'm gonna be undisputed. You have no choice but to fight me, plain and simple. So if I have all the belts and you want to become a champion, you at 147, it's only one thing you can do, which is fight me. So no matter what, the fights have to happen.
Do you have a hit list at this point, Brian? Do you have like guys you definitely want to get in the ring with?
Besides Boots, I say it's not a name, it's just a belt. WBC. Right now, Mario Barrios have it. Let's say I know they're talking about him and Conor Benn. If Conor Benn come and snatch that belt up, I want Conor Benn. Whoever got WBC belt, that's the main fight. I really want WBC. And then after that, I just want all the champions. And then whoever number one, top names, that's all I want for real.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's weird how boxing changes overnight. The 147 a couple of years ago was the heart and soul of boxing, and then it kind of changed, and super welterweight kind of jumped up, and now we got light heavyweight, and and now, like you said, it seems like welterweight.
I personally feel like welterweight is still a good division. It's not popular. That's all it is. It's just all the popular names that we knew are now gone. It's just new faces. That's the only thing. At one point, Errol Spence was nobody. At one point, Terrence Crawford was nobody. Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, list goes on. At one point, you gotta insert your name and insert your own legacy. And my last fight was my coming out party. And now it's time for me to real deal establish myself as a champion, as a name. And as time goes on, like, okay, he is consistent, he is consistent, he is consistent. And not only consistent, he is even getting better. And then that is your legacy. Not just winning it, but holding it. That's why Bernard Hopkins is known for his how long did he hold that belt. That's why people love Bernard Hopkins. That's why people love all these champions. A lot of people was champions, but a lot of people are not remembered. And I want to be remembered.
All right, before I don't want to move past that because you just said something about the super welterweight division, and I love that you brought that up because just like my son was virtually unknown, my son was virtually unknown before May or whatever till they elevated to the title, and you got with the super welterweight, you got Bohachuk, you got Madrimov, you got Bakram. Those are three people that we put at the top of the 154 division. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are three people. We did not know those people
last year.
Before my son. Right, we didn't even know those people before my son fought.
Yeah.
We didn't even know those people then. So I just want to say, like you just said about the changing, it just changes. Like the names pop out of nowhere. And like my son said, Terrence Crawford was once unknown. Errol Spence was once unknown. I mean, Javante Davis was once. I mean, people get caught up on and who they know and what they know. And
popularity don't mean skill.
Yeah, that don't mean nothing. Just because you know somebody or not, it don't mean nothing.
Yeah. Well, I know watching you fight, Brian. I mean, the skills are there, so I can see again. You're a tough out for anybody. What are your thoughts on Turkey Al-Ashik and what he's doing for boxing, and Have you guys had conversations with him? Because he seems to be the guy that's pulling the strings on a lot of these big fights.
Personally, we haven't talked to Turkey, but hopefully in the future we can. But I think what he's doing is actually a good thing because all the promoters are on a mission. Their mission is to make the most money. So sometimes they pull guys away because um we trying to build something for you. We trying to build up your name, your popularity, so we can sell you over here, and then come back and try to make a whole lot more money with that way. But with Turkey, his whole thing is you don't even have to make a plan, build anything. He go 100 million right here in your face. Boom. So everybody plan is to get money. He got the money and he throwing it to you. So therefore, I feel like what he doing is amazing. He making all the fights happen.
Yeah. Yeah, he certainly is. Let's talk about some of these fights. I just talked to John Scully the other night, and your dad may know, remember John, former light heavyweight contender, assistant trainer to Artur Beterbiev. Talk about that rematch, and talk about throwback. They fought 4 months ago, and we're already seeing the sequel. When does that happen in today's boxing? But what were your thoughts on the first fight, and what do you see? What do you see in the rematch?
I think it was a great fight on the first one. Um, I don't think it was a robbery. I think it was a close fight. People get close fight and robbery mixed up.
Yeah,
I feel like he personally could have went either way, draw, anything. I would have been cool with either decision. But the fact that I'm fighting again, that shows their love of the game and their competitiveness. And we all know boxing is the most competitive sport, and that's what we love to see. Two top fighters going at each other. I feel like I won the first fight, but they robbed me. Let's run it back again and see. And then let's say Bivol win this one. I bet they run it back a third time for a trilogy. It's just in their nature.
yeah, yeah. What do you think, Senior?
I think the exact same thing. I think it's a throwback type situation, and I love it. I notice all the younger fighters speak that way, and I like that too. Like the younger fighters speak with that type of enthusiasm, and they speak with that type of energy. Like we want to fight anybody. We want, as opposed to the generation right before this, right before that generation with the Javante Davis and with the ones that want to cherry pick or the Mayweather type situation. Because even Mayweather did his thing when he was
Mayweather fought a
34.
lot of people though. Mayweather fought a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
people.
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just about the end. It's the perception that Mayweather ended up giving off at the end. It's like reading a
What
book at the
Canelo
end of the
doing?
book. It's like reading a book at the end of the book and not knowing what the hell the book is about. That's all. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened with the Mayweather situation, and he just showed some of his guys the way to get to the money without the hard. Yeah, that's how you want to take. But for the sport of boxing, I don't think that's good. Now, back to the situation at hand and what you asked me, I think the Bivol and the Beterbiev fight was a good fight, great fight. I think that Beterbiev won. I think the right man won. I think my son is correct about when you have a fight that close, such as a fight like that, or even with a Lomachenko, Devin Haney, you almost can't call it a robbery. It's a close fight, and that's why they got three different judges, and the judges scored it how they scored it, and it is what it is at that point. You know what I'm
Yeah. The most overused word in boxing is robbery.
Robert. Right, right. But I think it's great for boxing. I think it's great for boxing. And again, I think the boxers are looking up from here. I think with the turkey out of the sheet, I think all of this is gonna play in a positive way. Again, with me, what me and Greg Hackett is doing, I think that's a positive way. It all sheds light on boxing. What I mean? It's a different avenue. Even, we all trash. Me too. Did not like what Jake Paul was doing. We all say I did it. I was one of the one of the most ones. I did not like Jake Paul at all. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm looking like, you know what? I think he's good for the sport now. You know what I'm saying? I think he's real good for the sport. He putting people on. He had that Serrano Taylor
Amanda.
fight. Yeah, yeah, that Serrano Taylor fight. To get all the eyes on that. I mean, that's huge, man. I mean, he's signing fighters now. Again, when he brings eyes to his spectacle or whatever he got going on, he's also bringing eyes into people to other in his boxing. So it's all good for the sport now. I don't feel that way no more. So I admit to being wrong, and I was wrong about that. Like I said, I think again with the me and the Greg Hackett situation, I think they could turn out to be some big too, as far as just with the boxing public and people in general, just bringing eyes to boxing.
Yeah, I covered that whole fight week with Tyson and Jake Paul. I'm in Dallas, senior, and everybody would always ask me about it, and I'm like, bring the circus to town. I'm an old school Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler, Hearns, that era, probably like you. But what I don't think people realize, like you said, what he's done for women's boxing, what he's done for the sport overall with fighters. I think he does more good, but every time I post a Jake Paul thing, I'm always getting blasted by people I know, because they don't respect what he's doing. But I
Right.
just,
So how did you feel when he first came out? Did you like it?
I didn't really pay too much attention, but what I've learned is he trains with real boxing people, and so I respect that. And listen, he's getting in the ring, even with MMA fighters. These guys are professional killers, everyone kept saying he was going to lose, and he kept knocking them out. So, I mean, I don't, I don't hate what he's doing. I think he's doing a lot of good. Now, Canelo fighting him, like Junior said, and I think you said, it's a money grab, no doubt.
Oh yeah. But again, it brings eyes to boxing, so it is what it is. It's still good for the sport.
Yeah.
Hey, and also you got to remember that fight is gonna have an undercard. There's gonna be a lot of eyes on that undercard. It's gonna be a lot of
And
eyes
that's
on
where
that
stars can
undercard.
be born.
Yep, stars are gonna get born that night. Somebody's gonna make a lot of money on the undercard that night. So again, it's all good for the fighters. It's all good for boxing.
Yeah, no doubt. Let me ask you, because you mentioned Tank earlier, and one of the super fights in boxing, by all accounts, would be Tank and Shakur. And it just seems like they're going in complete opposite directions. What are your thoughts if that fight ever was to be made?
Go ahead, B.
That's you.
You don't want to answer?
No, he asked you the question because he
No,
said you
both of
brought
you,
up
both
Tank.
of you.
Oh.
Go ahead, Junior.
You say if the fight does happen?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
right
What do you
now
think?
it seems like it's a long shot from.
Yeah, it seemed like Tank, his whole career, what he been doing was he always asked, why should I fight this guy? Why should I fight that guy? But then he go fight somebody else, and now I can ask a question on why did you fight him? For example, Lamont Roach, he a great fighter, but he had 130, I believe. Why you fighting him? Like you could have fought Shakur, you could have fought anybody else, but you fought a guy from 130 and just brought him up and just say, yeah, he the one, he deserve a fight. Why? He didn't do anything. So I don't know what's up with that.
It's crazy to me that noticeably he didn't fight. And I'm not saying it's to bash him. I'm saying it's to keep it real. He didn't fight one person that he argued with. I think Ryan Garcia is the closest. He didn't fight one person that he said he would fight. Not one. He didn't fight Devin. He didn't fight T.O. He didn't fight anybody that was in that division. He didn't fight Tevin Farmer. He didn't fight Kevin Russell coming up through the ranks at 126. He didn't fight not one person that he said. He didn't fight Lomachenko. I know he just recently tried to fight him, you know, just a little while ago, whatever else, but you got to think, I mean, the man, 36, 37 years old.
And he was
And at
already
a
saying
lighter,
I don't feel like fighting no more.
right. And at a lighter weight like that, I mean, it's kind of pathetic. That's why I said about the generation before my son's generation, like when you got the Jerron Anderson and they saying they want to fight everybody. You got the Brian Norman. He's saying he want to fight everybody. You got the Jalea Hackett's. They saying they want to fight anybody. You got the Richardson Hitchison. He's saying he want to fight it. You know what I mean? So I like that. You got the Floyd Schofield proving
Yeah.
that they want to fight anybody. You know what I mean? I like that new generation coming in. I love this new energy. And I love when you put it in the atmosphere, you put it out there for the next fighter to see too. And I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry though. You asked me about the Shakur and the Tank thing. Yeah, I didn't get to that. My bad. I don't think Tank is gonna fight Shakur. He said he ain't gonna fight Shakur. I think he's gonna find any excuse in the world not to fight Shakur.
Who would win that fight?
I do not know who will win that fight. It will be one of two ways. Either it's gonna be an ugly boxing match, it's gonna be an ugly, boring fight, and Shakur gonna win, or it's gonna be a knockout, and we know who's gonna win. It's gonna be one
I
way or the
say
other.
I say whoever wins that night is the sharper who is the sharper man that night. For example, you see they both skillful, they both chance, they both work hard and mentally strong. So now it's all about that particular night, who is more on point. That's how I feel. They both right there with each other. It's all about who is more on point that one night.
Yeah, yeah. God, it would be a shame if that fight does not happen in this
It's not gonna
generation.
happen.
Right, yeah. Why? Hey, you got to ask yourself, and Tank with Tank mindset and what he's saying, why would it happen?
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, he will find somebody to fight. You hear me? He will find somebody to fight and say, "Why should I fight this other person?" He will find them.
Yeah, no doubt. But let me ask you a couple quick ones here. Boots Stanionis. I mean, that's not an easy fight for Boots. How do you guys see that one playing out?
I really don't have no opinion on it because I didn't watch Stanionis a full standing on this fight yet, so I can't say anything. I watched little small clips, so I know it won't be an easy fight, but I haven't watched the full fight to really give my opinion on them.
I got a real good opinion on that because I watched him. I watched him a couple of times, and I think I'm not sure how hard he hits. I don't think he has. I mean, he may have wear you down type power. He does not have like knockout power. He don't have like one punch knockout power. That's a definite. A lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. It seems one dimensional. Not sure if it is, but if you got a lot of pressure coming at you one dimensional, how mentally strong are you? I think Boots is gonna have to be sharp that night. He's gonna have to be sharp for 12 rounds that night. And I think for him to be sharp, I think it's gonna be a fight though. I think it's gonna be a fight. And I personally don't think like Boots like to actually fight people. Now, people get me mixed up when I say that. He likes to show off and he likes to be the man and he likes to beat people up. When I say he don't like to fight people, he don't like that back and forth.
It's
And that's
changing.
just coming from the past of seeing when people fight him back, he grabbed them and held them. He grabbed them and clenched them. That's not what a person that likes to fight would do. If you start punching back at me, I'm not gonna grab you and clinch you. We just finna bite down and that old school what's his name, Turo Gotti Ward type situation.
Yeah,
Those are guys who like to fight. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a tough fight, man. But I can see Boots. I can see Boots pulling out a decision victory. I don't think it's gonna be I don't think it's gonna be like a wipeout or nothing like that. I think it's gonna be a good fight, and I think Boots probably put out like a decision victory. I ain't gonna say unanimous, but I think he'll get a decision victory if he's sharp. But he hasn't been tested, so we'll see how he handles under that pressure.
yeah. What about Haney coming back against Jose Ramirez? Is his for his first fight? That seemed a little surprising. Although Jose is more towards the end of his career.
I mean, we see what it is. It's just a little shake back fight. Just get his feet back wet a little bit. Um, when was the last time Ramirez fought? Have it been a minute?
More recent than Devin, I believe.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he done took time, but
yeah,
I feel like Devin Haney got this. If he simply just do what he is known for, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Jab and move, man. And then when they start looking at you, throw them combos and move again. So I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think he need to go back to his game plan of what got him here.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I was talking to I was on a live with Zab Judah, and he made a point that changed my whole thinking because I used to didn't think this way. Zab Judah, from experience, he said the best thing what to do if you lose is get right back in there, and I kind of agree with that. So I think if you take that kind of time off, it sits and linger in your spirit, and it starts to it's getting a sunken place and getting a little deeper in your spirit. You know what I mean? Um, so I think the time off kind of hurt him a little bit or whatever else. But I think if he can get back in there with Ramirez at an older Ramirez at, like you said, the tail end of his career, I think it's a good solid fight for him. I think he should be able to win that fight, and I think it'll be a good confidence booster for him. I think it'll be a real good confidence booster for him, and I think he need to hurry up and get right back in there again.
Yeah, no doubt. And then you got King Ryan and Raleigh fighting. That's going to be a hell of a lead up. But how do you guys see that fight playing out?
Ryan by knockout. He gonna knock him out.
Yeah,
I'm ready to see it happen because the old sparring tape and Rolly was dogging them out. I just want to see how it is now after all their experiences through life. Where they at now in their career. So like it's easy to say Ryan can knock him out, but also we seen what happened way back when. So anything can happen.
I think Ryan gonna knock him out. I think Ryan gonna knock him out. You got to remember, like he just said about through life and how you deal with this, how you deal with that. Rolly just got knocked out. Rolly got knocked out twice.
He did.
He got knocked out by Pitbull and he got knocked out by Tank.
Oh, he did. I forgot all about that. Rolly by knockout. Ryan Garcia by knockout. I forgot. I forgot. Well, hold up. But at the same time, Ryan Garcia, if he come in like how he was in the Devin Haney fight, I don't know. Cause he back with
Eddie Reynoso. I think he probably
that don't mean he working hard though.
Listen, I'm about to tell you. I think he probably ran the ship with Derrick James. I think Eddie Reynoso may take the lead on this one and make him train it like this is what we're doing. And I think he'll respect Reynoso more.
Okay. Makes sense.
That's just my thought. I don't know the person. I don't know nothing about the person. That's just my thought.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said it makes sense.
Go ahead, Senior. Okay. What about Haney? So let's assume Ryan and Devin get through their fights. The rematch has already been discussed. Does that play out any differently?
It can. It depends. To me, it depends on Devin Haney. Also, what he was just saying, that it all depends on how Ryan Garcia is regarding his new training and how he actually take it. Because you can change your training, you can change everything, but if you don't apply yourself, no matter what, they can tell you what to do. If you don't apply yourself, none of it matters. So it all depends on everything situational. If Devin Haney come in on point, he come in boxing, I think he got a better chance of winning instead of trying to go in and actually fight.
I agree. I think it depends on Devin too. I think that if Devin would have fought Ryan like he needed to fight him and boxed him last time, he would have beat him handily because Ryan was totally out of shape. And that's what I'm saying. I think they got something to do with where he was, what he had going on in his life. No recourse, nobody to answer to. Like that'll do something to you. When you don't have no discipline. When you have no discipline, you don't have nobody to answer to. You don't have no fear of anything or whatever else. And I think that's where he was at the time. So I think if he comes back and Ryan is different, and Devin is different like he need to be, I think he can box Ryan. I think he can just box him and stay away and box him and stay away. But I think Ryan will be in better shape this time too, though, because he looked horrible last time.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like Devin came in thinking all this stuff leading up to it that this is going to be a walk. Probably overconfident. Just no one thought the fight, would go like that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But we'll get you out of here in a second. I'm with Brian Sr., Brian Jr., flipping the script on February 15th. Junior's training his dad, Senior. Brian Jr., when are you back in the ring?
March 29th, man, Las Vegas.
Okay. Who are you fighting?
Derrieck Cuevas.
Okay. What do we know about him?
I forgot his record, to be real with you.
27-1. 27-1.
Yeah,
27 or 29-1, something like that.
But yeah, tough fighter, great fighter, coming in to win, coming in to change his life. Same thing as me in my last fight. That's what I see. A man just trying to change his life, plain and simple.
Yeah, and you were injured too for a bit, right? Everything's good.
And everything is back to 1000%.
Awesome. All right, man. And what card? What else is on that card? Is that do you know?
Kayla Mayer and
Yeah.
what's her name? Sandy Martin, Sandy Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I got one more question for you guys, and I'll let you get out of here. Who's
Okay.
winning the Super Bowl on Sunday?
I don't know, and I don't care.
I'm gonna have to
Hey, I
go.
can tell you who not winning it. The Atlanta Falcons.
That's
I'm gonna have to
true.
go
That's true.
with Patrick Mahomes, man, simply because I just feel like they've been in this situation too many times. They used to being here. I got to go with them.
So you're going for the three-peat.
Yeah. Also, I feel like the refs gonna be on their side as well. The refs does play a part in everything, and they do show favoritism. They going for Patrick Mahomes go in.
Hey guys, man, it was great talking to you both. I'm glad you got on, Senior. I'm in Dallas. I'm here with AC, in the same town as AC. If you guys ever come through, would love to see you guys live. But
Okay.
hey, Senior, good luck, man. You better listen to your corner, man,
I
because
will.
you got a champion. You got a champion behind you.
I gotta listen to the champ. The champ gonna give me champion mentality. I gotta listen to the
Exactly.
champ. See what the champ tell me to do. Hey,
And
I've
Junior, good
never been.
luck.
Hey, I've never been a champion. I raised a champion and trained a champion, but I've never been one. So now I get to listen to a champion, and I get that champion to get me from where he sit at in the champion seat. So I'm gonna listen to it.
Hey, there's been a lot of father-son combos through the years. I mean, we all know the Mayweathers, the Trinidads. I see how this one works, man. I see how you guys, the respect and how you guys operate. So I see what has led to this success. So keep it up.
Got you,
I
boss
appreciate
man.
it, boss. Thank you.
All right, guys. Best of luck to both of you. We'll
All
talk
right.
soon.
Okay,
All right,
boss. Thank you.
appreciate you.
All right,
Okay.
guys.
All right.